They are rage. Brutal. Without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear until it is done.
I remember the first time I ever played Doom 2016. I just beat The Last of Us, and after crying and having a real moral dilemma with myself over that ending, I wanted a nice change of pace for the next game I played. I was never much of a fan of first-person shooters. I kind of prefer that Nintendo and Sony type single-player game, but I remember watching a Markiplier Let's Play of Doom and thought it looked solid. The game was also on sale for like $15 at the PlayStation Store, so I was like, okay, let me try this out. I had never played a game from the series and pretty much knew nothing about it. And it didn't matter at all. What happened next was 13 hours of pure bliss. This wasn't my first FPS. I was familiar with games like Modern Warfare 2 and Halo, but they don't even come close to the pure carnage of Doom 2016. I've never played anything like this before. Everything from the freedom of movement, the weapons, the glory kills, the blood, the guts, this. Doom 2016 hit parts of my brain I didn't even know could be hit. The entire game is killing demons over and over and over, but it has a way of making the 100th time you glory kill an imp just as satisfying as it did the first time. It was one of those games where I thought to myself, I will never enjoy something more than this. I may really love a game, maybe even as much as 2016, but not more. I will never play a better first-person shooter than this. And then they made a sequel that was better in almost every way.
You have no idea what's coming. Please, you must listen to me. Demons, they are everywhere!
This game managed to take an already near perfect concept to places I didn't even know I wanted to go. The game is still, at its core, killing demons in the most brutal ways possible, but the ways you're able to do that and how you're able to navigate through these environments and arenas have changed tremendously. Eternal is a very different game from 2016, and you can immediately tell in its presentation. The backgrounds in this game may not feel as detailed as they were in 2016, but I actually kind of prefer them this way. It allows the focus to shift solely on the gameplay and makes demons and essential pickups much easier to see. In 2016, there's often times where demons can be hard to spot, or you miss a weapon pickup in the background because it never really stood out. The environments in Eternal make sure you don't have this problem. Items are much easier to spot because they contrast so much with whatever environment they're in, and demons pop out much clearer. I also prefer Eternal's environments simply because of their diversity. 2016 often used very similar hues of yellow, orange, and brown colors in its backgrounds, which could make you feel like you were playing the same levels over and over again. In Eternal, 1 minute you're in an icy tundra, the next you're in a rundown city surrounded by massive tentacles, then jumping around the surface of Mars, and finally battling demons on a futuristic planet run by robot angels. No two levels are the same in Eternal, and it gives it a much more larger-than-life feel to it, especially within a 15-hour playthrough. While I thoroughly enjoy my time in 2016, having replayed through the campaign several times, there are moments where I feel that sort of deja vu in terms of level design. I don't really feel this way when playing Eternal.
The beast, does he not seek enhanced power? Gifts to aid him in his noble conquest, perhaps in return for my...
The thing I love most about Doom in general is that it knows exactly what it is. You are playing as the most powerful being in the world whose sole purpose in life is killing. The only reason you play this game is to shoot, chainsaw, burn, and break these demons. I mean, there is a whole story and lore for this game, but yeah, I don't give a fuck. No, like I'm sure it's really interesting and detailed and shit, but yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't know why we're killing these priests. I don't know who this is, and I for damn sure don't know what a con maker is and why we just stabbed its heart. What I do know is that I got a super shotgun with a meat hook. There's a mancubus whose heart needs to be ripped out. I don't think I've ever played a game as satisfying as this. That moment-to-moment action when it's just you versus an arena of demons varying in size, speed, power, and ways of attacking you are the most intense moments you will ever see in a first-person shooter. You are constantly going through your entire arsenal, ranging from the rapid-fire plasma rifle, the flesh-shredding chain gun, and of course, the super shotgun with a meat hook. And using every piece of weaponry and equipment that you have is essential because no single one weapon will take out an army of demons. You see, the way enemies work in Doom Eternal is that there are designated weak points that can be targeted that will make them less effective in combat. Now, targeting these weak points are optional, but you'll find very quickly that in small spaces with lots of enemies, not targeting them will make your fights extremely difficult. Now, weak points can vary from demon to demon, and there are multiple different ways you can hit them. Take the Mancubus, whose weak points are these two cannons on his arms. If you don't target these cannons, he's capable of firing long-range missiles or close-range flamethrower attacks at you, which could seriously interrupt the flow of combat. To get rid of him, you need 2 accurate shots, 1 at each cannon. You could use the sticky bombs from the regular shotgun or the tactical scope from your heavy assault rifle. You could also get up close and personal and use your blood punch, which will automatically disable them. There's also the option to throw a grenade at him, which will cause him to falter, leaving him open to an attack from a heavy weapon, or to leave him be and go handle another enemy. And it's this line of thinking that makes this game so dynamic. There are so many ways to handle just this one enemy's weak spots, and you'll be in situations where you have dozens of different demon varieties who all need to be dealt with in different ways through different weapons in your arsenal. This whole concept is known as the fun zone, and it's what either makes or breaks this game for most people. Some people don't like the fun zone because it forces you to play this game in a single way, and it limits your freedom to handle obstacles in the way you want with the weapons of your choice. Me personally, I love the fun zone. Every enemy encounter is like a ballet of carnage. There are no breaks. This is some of the most high-octane, adrenaline-infused combat you will ever experience in a first-person shooter. Every fight is like a little chess match because you're unknowingly making all these little strategic decisions about where you need to move, which enemies to prioritize, the weapons needed to handle said enemy, and how to limit other demons from interrupting that fight. Resource management is a key part in this game, so good improvisation during combat and finding different ways to deal with an enemy is crucial. This isn't going to be a deep dive into the mechanics of this game, but it does such a great job of limiting complacency. One of the key aspects the developers prioritized was not allowing you to kill every enemy using just the super shotgun, and I think it works in this game's favor. It makes the game so much less mundane and allows the player to actually think when fighting. I also love how just unapologetically violent this game is, not even with just the shooting, but with things like replenishing your resources. You could pick up the 3 shards of armor laying on the ground, or you could burn your enemies alive, which is actually the preferred method. I can understand why for some, this game and its philosophies aren't their cup of tea. It even took me a little bit to finally see their vision clearly, but if you're willing to push through and embrace the fun zone, I promise you it's worth it. It is by far the best first-person shooter I have ever played, and I don't really see anything topping it. The game is art, plain and simple, and you will never have a more fun time killing things. Thanks for watching.